Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team pick.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to Epicenter Moscow qualifiers. We got NP. Yes, NP going up against FireDota in a best
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds.
things working fine, dude. How you doing? I think this is the first showing of the new NP, or one of the first.
Lena. Dire team pick.
Mm-hmm.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
A little bit of a throwback group of guys right there. Not completely almost there, but for sure NP looking like a group of players that can go very, very far. It's not to say that Fire are slouches either. Definitely one of the Fire definitely one of the more powerful teams in the NA region. Gonna have Jo standing in with them. I don't believe he's actually in. I think that's just stand in, but still, I mean, you have Whitebeard, who I saw recently just play the absolute sickest roaming heroes. So I'm looking forward to seeing that again, but I'm looking forward to seeing this as well. NP busting out Visage first pick with the clockwork.
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, it's not bad when you're against Alina. Alinas don't normally want to go 4-staff. Clockwork's one of those heroes that can give you a lot of vision too around the map with the rocket. That's what Visage does well. So their vision game right now is pretty strong. Visage is pretty decent once he gets level 2 in the lane. He can have heavy amounts of burst damage. And then he has a split push potential later on. And plus, with AUI playing the 4 role, he was probably the best Visage player back in the day. So him going back to playing it here, it's going to be an honor to watch, because then you can see just how well somebody can really micro this hero and use it to the fullest potential.
At least in the early stages, Visage is always going to be just the... Well, I see him as kind of half of a support duo. Like, he doesn't really do all that much by himself. Really needs a good squad to really be very powerful and to fill up that soul assumption bar very quickly. So, we're looking at core heroes that do a lot of damage really quickly. Juggernaut, usually a pretty good hero. Just spin to soul assumption. Pretty easy combo there. Other support heroes that do a lot of damage, or at least heroes that are able to maybe extend most of their mana pool just for that small burst of damage. At this point, CM banned out. We have Treant kicked out as well. There are definitely options here for the NP side, but as you said, AUI used to play the crap out of this hero back when Visage was, an actual real first pick. So we'll see what he's able to do in lane, because that's always a little bit of an issue. Like, you may have a Visage in the mid-late game as your plan, but if you're not able to use him and his insane nuking power early on, you're working with a lot of wasted potential there.
I'm really curious to see how they're going to make the hero work. And then they have Visage, or not, they have Visage paired with Rubik now. Normally, this means that you don't have the strongest of pairings for roaming support. That means that Fire, they can kind of exploit it if they have maybe their own roamer and whatnot. they can cause a lot more problems around the map potentially. But at the same time, Rubik, kind of like that solid rock when you're in that laning stage, you have that lift, always to give you the potential to initiate and whatnot. He's also very good against Abaddon. You can easily steal his shield later on in these big team fights. You can even steal ulti, turn it around in his face. So there's a lot of cool things that you can do. Rubik, probably one of Pilot Eye's most famous heroes too. Like he plays it a crap ton, so it's always a treat to watch him. Now FireDota, they kind of don't want to show their cards too much, so yeah, going for this, it looks like it's going to be a 5 Wind Ranger here. It's going to be interesting to see how this works out.
Last time they ran Wind Ranger, it was third pick as well. It gave it to Whitebeard. Landed, I want to say, close to 100% of the shackle shots, so it was pretty insane. And when you're working with the Wind Ranger, you need to land those shackle shots so that Lina can do her damage. It is always going to be somewhat risky just because of the kind of finicky nature of shackle shot. But hey, if you can land it, then you're going to be doing some serious damage. It definitely does seem it's one of Whitebeard's more comfortable heroes, at least in this patch, and they can pretty reliably get it. I don't know the last time I've seen a team. Well, I mean, their other teams aren't likely to pick Wind Ranger, let alone ban it out. So yeah, FireDota definitely have a lot of time and a lot of chances to practice and work their playstyle around this Wind Ranger. NP, well, they have a lot of stuns set up in lane. Still Juggernaut looking pretty good. If they're looking at that one position, Slark not bad either. Fire, I mean, I don't know. It seems like both sides are still really, really open, as you said, not showing their hands just yet.
They're just kind of testing the waters out there. Wind Ranger is pretty good at zoning the off lane. You just have that power shot. If Clockwork's alone, it's going to deal a tremendous amount of damage. Zone him out of the lane. Wind Ranger's also one of those heroes that builds into either Solar Crest first, or in this game it might be Force Staff to kind of counter the Clockwork and his hook shots. So you used to, back at TI2, TI3, Wind Ranger was sort of picked a lot at times where you would, and then you'd always go phase into Force Staff. So it's going to be interesting to see how this works. Now, they did pick a Bristleback. This hero is interesting. Envy really likes this hero. He even puts it mid a lot. It adds even more armor and tankability to the lineup. But one weakness is the OD, or heroes like that. If they have an OD, he's just going to be able to basically drain all his mana, and then with one ulti, he potentially can die. But the way that they build Bristleback, he rushes a Solar Crest, so at the same time, Solar Crest kind of counters OD at times, because it gives you that mischance that you kind of search for. So I wonder if FireDota are going to go around along that route to counter the Bristleback here, or what kind of other way they can do it. Like, you can go for a Slark too, which isn't too bad. Keep stealing all his essence. A good hero against Bristle that isn't really played as the carry would be Legion Commander. But like I said, they already have Abaddon. So Legion Commander, you just pressure duel on him, and then you make the Bristleback turn his front to you. It's also another hero that can go Silver Edge too, to break the Bristleback.
You mentioned Slark for very similar reasons. Right now, don't really know if anyone on Fire is going to be itching to buy a Silver Edge. If Whitebeard gets very far ahead on Wind Ranger, I definitely wouldn't put it past him. But as you said, NP, with this Bristleback, it does kind of seem like mid lane is kind of the way they have to go. The matchup up against Abaddon, I haven't seen it all that often because, well, how often do you see Bristleback? But I assume it's going to be pretty hard for Bristleback to do any sort of reliable DPS when he's working off of just stacks of his spells. And, you know, Abaddon does have that shield, so being able to clean himself of the goo, of the quills, real annoying. And Rubik and Visage damage is still very high, but I don't know if Bristleback is able to do as much damage as they need to, at least if it is going to be a safe lane Bristleback going up against that Abaddon in any capacity. Fire, though, Terrorblade is the pickup for them. Now they have a lot of tower killing power. Really overloaded on it, in fact. Wind Ranger, of course, with that Focus Fire, Abaddon's passive, tears down towers just by itself, and Lean and Terrorblade at range. So FireDota, if they're able to get a pick off, I'm pretty sure every single time a tower is going to fall.
I think Hero Terrorblade, he's probably the strongest carry in the game right now. I don't think there's any heroes that really come close. Naga Naga's been nerfed a lot. Alchemist has been nerfed a lot. That's pushing style has been kind of nerfed, but Terrorblade kind of reigns supreme. You can pretty much do everything alone. I think even running Terrorblade mid, running Terrorblade safe lane, anything. If you have this hero in your lineup, I think it's just super powerful. He also benefits from the Hurricane Pike, which he'll probably be going from this game. You can dodge or get out of the cogs, and then you're able to reposition yourself. Bristleback doesn't have any ways to build a stun unless it gets a Abyssal, which you really don't want to rush that, and even you don't want to get that as maybe like a 4th or 5th item or something. That's like maximum time you normally get it. So then Terrorblade, he's just gonna always get off these thunders most of the time. It's a way to deal with the Visage Birds too. He can easily mop those up if they come in with a few right clicks. So very scary hero. FireDota, like I said, they can run it either in the mid or the safe lane. Another hero that they could use.
5 seconds remaining.
Let's think. Let's just assume it's in the safe lane for Terrorblade. Yeah, there's OD.
OD, as you said, in kind of an anticipatory pickup for that Bristleback matchup. This is going to put the Wind Ranger and the Lina both in support positions, which again isn't really like the most guaranteed support duo of all time. But if you do land one stun, you're definitely going to land another, and then Pain is going to follow. NP switch it up a little bit with this Tinker pick. They really do need this magic damage. Like, I mean, you mentioned why Terrorblade was good, up against the vast majority of NP's heroes, but there's also the fact that before this Tinker pick, they really didn't have all that much burst damage. That's not really what Clockwork does. Bristleback is pure physical up against a hero that has like 20-something armor. You're just not going to kill a Terrorblade, especially with an Abaddon behind him, unless you get some pretty heavy magic damage. So NP's hand kind of forced into this Tinker, but it is a Fada Tinker. It is going to be a Tinker with a Visage, so you can do some silly shenanigans there. And the matchups aren't really that bad, so as long as the Tinker doesn't get continuously jumped by a Wind Ranger and a Lina, should be okay.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that last pick, I think FireDota completely outpicked them. But since they have the final pick, they used it pretty well. I'm really surprised FireDota didn't ban out Tinker. The two heroes in the mid lane that counter Terrorblade the most are Zeus and Tinker, and then maybe Ember Spirit to some degree. But I think it's more scary to deal with a Tinker, especially when you last pick the OD. Like, you don't have a Storm Spirit or some hero that can just split push and deal with or has this catch as well, that can deal with the Tinker. So this is just kind of weird to see them let them have this pick when they already had the Terrorblade and already had this game plan. But it's going to be a kind of a free Tinker game, but at the same time, it is still on Fada to kind of like salvage these picks and to kind of carry them into from the mid to late game.
If I'm going to rely on someone to salvage the game, Fada on Tinker, definitely someone I would be comfortable putting all my money on. But we're going to load out into our lanes. NP, one of their first showings. I'm going to say their first official. If that's wrong, well, someone probably correct me. But they're going to give AUI that classic AUI Visage. We'll see how much he's able to get done along with Eternal Envy playing the Bristleback. Over towards the side lanes. Actually, maybe not. AUI Smoking is getting awfully close to some enemies. He sees all of them. He's going to take a little bit of damage here. EE arriving is going to drive everyone back enough so that I can introduce everyone else on NP. Pilot Die is on the Rubicon. Again, Fada on the Tinker, and MSS is going to be handling Clockwork. He also plays this hero a lot and is very comfortable.
MSS, Clockwork's pretty famous. Everyone's kind of like on signature heroes here. For NP, FireDota has some really strong picks of their own here. So I'm looking forward to seeing how well FireDota do against NP. As you said, this is their debut. So let's see how cohesive they can be as a team. They already got a D ward. Kind of both teams know that the enemy offlaner uses a ward. I'm surprised they didn't give... Where's Rubik? Yeah, they didn't buy any sentry for the Dire side. They knew where this Radiant offlane ward was, where Lina had placed it, but they just don't have a sentry to give MSS. And that's a free 100 gold. That's also less information the enemy can have, so kind of surprised they didn't get rid of that or have a sentry.
they're looking at sentries just to block. The jungle, at least for the safe lane, is really not going to be a really resource-rich area, and having Alina as support who's not able to get a good source of income is slowly but surely going to turn into just a walking LSA, and that is not exactly anything amazing to write home about. So Fluff and Stuff is going to be playing a pretty poor Lina, which is something we don't really get to see all that often, and well, we'll get to see why Lina as a support isn't really going to be played all that often, because if you don't get anything, you're screwed. You don't really do anything ever. Pilot has man fighting Whitebeard. He's dropping very low. Whitebeard just might get this kill. He will. Take a couple tower shots for his troubles. He's gonna make it an even trade in the end, but Pi is not supposed to get into man fights like that.
And this is what Moon Ranger just picking up a Blightstone too. So the right clicks are going to become hot and heavy. And then Eternal Envy's also out of mana here, just spamming it out. He does have a Clarity and Enchanted Mango to work with, but normally as Bristleback, you don't think of this hero as a strong spammer early on. You normally shouldn't be spamming your waves. He's also missing a lot of right clicks under the tower. Bristleback's kind of... he needs the benefits of a CM or something along those lines if you want to spam. And so, but the one good thing is, I wanted to talk about the bottom lane. MSS, he pretty much blocked the bottom lane perfectly. Fluff and Stuff gave that sentry ward to the enemy. Or not to the enemy, sorry. He gave it to Whitebeard up here. So that means that he was able to deward that ward top, but that means that both of these camps were blocked out. So, unfortunately, they weren't able to make to work with the pools, and that means that Mojo, he's going to be getting a lot of levels in this offlane.
And even just the standing matchup of Clockwork versus Terrorblade, you do have to respect the Metamorph. You know, every hero does, but when the Terrorblade is melee, Clockwork can do just this, just stay in his own creep wave. He will eventually get to a point where he will be able to put a lot of magic damage back into the Terrorblade if TB isn't careful, because Battery Assault is just that ridiculous. And of course the cogs to burn out mana. Not really sure if that's a reliable play, burn out the Terrorblade's mana so that he can't Metamorph, but it's not like Terrorblade is the most intelligent hero on the map. It may just happen, and once that happens, should it happen, MSS is going to be home free in this lane, has absolutely nothing to fear, even should a Lina wander into his lane. So yeah, it does seem like MSS has this lane on lock, but trouble brewing up towards top lane, where EE now starting to really pick up the CS, but this is a bad and having a pretty good time, all things considered. And of course, that first blood for Whitebeard. Always an ever-present threat for Fada over in the mid lane. You could imprison into a shackle or just straight shackle, and if you do land that, Tinker is pretty dead.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways for them to set up all these cool plays around the map. You can also do the imprison into a light strike array, which is going to be nice to see. They do have a lot of setup for the Tinker, and then Tinker, as you talk about, the CS is pretty even in the mid lane, so both mids kind of evenly matched. When this happens though, when you get lasered to the face though, and you don't feel good about being able to hit. But it's amazing how much pressure so far Whitebeard has caused in this top lane, just by itself. With these boots first, you notice he can't die too much. No, oh my goodness, Pilot Die is still level 1. AO is level 3.
I was gonna say, like, the Wind Ranger does have boots and the Rubik doesn't, so you shouldn't get hit with that lift, but there's no lift, so the Wind Ranger is just never going to die until that comes up. So Pilot Die really hurting, and of course having Rubik hurting is going to make it so that the Visage also is going to be a lot weaker. You don't really have any way of using that Soul Assumption. The bar isn't going to be filled very quickly. You don't really have that setup, so this
Fluff and Stuff here.
Oh, got him in the jungle, and I totally caught that, by the way. Battery Assault is pretty ridiculous.
Here. Ooh. Highlight Die.
Not quite. I mean, this is just a Wind Ranger with boots and a little bit of minus armor, and he's putting the screws to 2 support heroes on the other end. So NP may be getting EE a little bit of protected farm here, but it's costing their supports a lot. They're not getting a ton.
Whitebeard almost going down 4 stacks. This is something that he probably regrets now, not going for a magic stick in this lane. It's free regen. I'm glad to see that Fluff and Stuff finally rotated in top lane. Meanwhile, mid lane, they can go on him.
Yep, lift him up. They have the Grave, and it's going to slow down the OD so that Fowler can get a lot of right clicks. Soul Assumption hits hard, and they will missile Jo down. 3-man rotation, and OD did have some help from Fluff and stuff, who also tried to get in there, but OD up against that many heroes, just not going to happen. NP with a good rotation, and for the Rubik especially, much needed rotation. You got to get that experience, and if you can funnel any gold you can get into Fada, then your map control game is going to get a hell of a lot easier.
Basically, if they protect the Tinker this game and make sure he gets the fast boots to travel, this game becomes pretty easy for them. Brax is going to be keeping out. It's going to be fine. Surprised AUI didn't go for the mango soul assumption play.
Patient towards bottom lane right now. Maybe not. Yeah, you're moving around with the Tinker. It's a lot of burst damage, but you don't want to do that. If you can help it, you'd rather just be farming. So rotations seem like they're going to be few and far between. It is hard to kind of coordinate that. Lina and Wind Ranger very powerful, but yeah, this level 3 battery assault stuck in the cogs. He'll return fire slightly. He can't even break himself out because he can't get anything casted or right clicked out. Poor Lina, and that's just MSS in the right spot at the right time. And he's level 6 now, so Lina is not gonna have a good time.
Lina's been heavily shut down early on with those 2 wards blocking her out. She didn't have anywhere to go. She might as well have just TP top or something and helped kind of contest and just left the Terrorblade solo 1v1. It would have been a lot better. But she did go around getting runes and whatnot. But now Envy, he's been doing a really good job. They've been pressuring him, but he hasn't died yet. He's been using his mana more efficiently. Also, the magic stick charges have been good. I don't know how they're going to bring him down, but it's kind of a little bit too late. And then mid lane is very hard to gank Tinker, so they're kind of at a loss for what to do on the support side of Fire right now.
Whitebeard is going to pick a fight with Pylai Die. Can really result into anything right now. I mean, the supports do have a stun combo, but it does seem like at this point, even if you do land a stun combo, you're not going to have quite enough right-click damage, seeing as though NP are hanging around mid lane and top lane pretty reliably with their support. So your plan is going to go somewhat haywire. We have to keep our eyes on MSS. I mean, level 7 almost there, and he hasn't been forced to go for the flare build, so his kill power is at max for level 6 Clockwork at this stage. Doesn't have a ton of mana, but he will still run into Whitebeard. Battery Assault will catch the Wind Ranger, and now she is in a cage. Poor Whitebeard. Nothing you can do about this. He will Wind Run, will stop them from right clicks, but it will not stop a missile. So MSS is going to set another one up. This time for Fada, and he is just a menace. These supports can't deal with them, and OD, Terrorblades, like, they may be able to deal with this Clockwork slightly, but still add another hero into MSS's hook shot gank, and yeah, you will be looking at an easy kill.
If you just saw this game right now for the first time ever, you'd think, man, supports have like the worst role ever. It's just kind of like the situation where both teams have put themselves in, where they're just not able to do much. Yeah, it's also just because like they don't have a roaming hero and they're not applying pressure elsewhere, and then you just saw the effect of blocking camps, and then you're not able to pull, you're not able to get levels, and then all of a sudden you're like level 3s on the Linas, you're level 4s on the Rubik, and it's just a hard support life this game. But AUI, this is normally what happens on all of the games he plays. The hero, normally his carry is gonna go into the mid lane. They're gonna die? No. But Envy, he stacked up the jungle. This is what he likes to do. And then you just leave AUI top. Let him get some
let him get some death. Pop goes the Visage. You had to say it, didn't you? There goes AUI. Still got a lot out of that top lane, and that is one of the luxuries of Bristleback. Oh. Okay, hookshot into Fluff and stuff. Poor Lina doesn't stand a chance in that scenario. But yeah, the Bristleback is able to go to the jungle pretty easily with his clear speed. You will take some damage. He's not the fastest, not the safest hero, safe lane hero in the world to jungle, but that flexibility, being able to get Visage up to that level 6, can open up NP just so many more opportunities to get AUI back into this game, but to also kind of piggyback the Visage on how far ahead Clockwork has been. An MSS, first hookshot, gets a kill. I mean, no one's really dealing with this Clockwork. No one on Fire is actually going towards bottom lane except for this Terrorblade.
Yeah, and they haven't really de-warded the ward that they knew was around in that area. So this ward is just giving them so much information of where Terrorblade's moving, supports are moving. It allows Mojo to get all these free kills. If I say Mojo, it's just because I've known him as Mojo Storm Stout. So I'm talking about MSS all the time for everyone watching. So don't mind me. And then basically the Tinker had such an amazing level or fast bots that he's just able to go everywhere in the around the map. They're trying to set up a gank for him. Finally, 10 minutes in, but I don't think it's gonna work.
Broad daylight. There's a smoke here. Fluff and Jo. Jo's actually been on the move for a minute at least, something like that. He's been sitting top lane, but he's been wandering about. Got a kill on a Visage, but that's not quite going to be good enough to satisfy. It seems to be just like for right now a roaming OD. Getting a kill on EE though, that will be good enough. There is a TP out here for the Bristleback, so they do have to worry about their stuns. And well, he is very, very tanky as well. The Quills will start stacking up. For Fluff and stuff, he's got to be very careful. He will fall back, but that just means the stun is further away. EE not taking anything because he's got so much armor, plus a Vanguard, sees Fluff and stuff in his sights. He is angry, but he can't quite get close enough. But with MSS coming in, they're going to trap Jo and zap him down with Fada. It was a bait the entire time. Fluff and stuff going to get some coil help, and Whitebeard's going to arrive, but he's not that healthy. Missile's going to fly. Double missile's going to fly. That'll snipe Fluff. Oh man, technology for NP. And Eternal Envy takes half of his HP worth of damage. Not a big deal, just an ordinary Bristleback play.
Yeah, you can just see the power of Tinker. He can show up anywhere and everywhere, and they don't really have setups for the Bristleback. Like that, you kind of need the Wind Ranger to be there first instead of the Lina. You want to cast your Shackle, and then Shackle needs to kind of be maxed so that you're able to get off 4 or 5 Arcane Orbs off onto the Bristleback, and that's how you kind of have to kill him. So they not only do they have a Tinker problem, they also have a Bristle problem. Fire didn't invade the enemy jungle. They didn't prevent any of the stacks. They didn't shut down anyone on the dire side. Now you can just see this is going to be a game where Terrorblade has to completely carry it alone, because OD, sure, he's a great counter to Bristleback, but not when the Bristleback is this farm and you're shut down on OD too. Like, you don't even have a Midas yet, you don't even have a backup plan, so it's looking pretty rough for Jo.
Oh, MSS, Mojo got TC in a cage. Now we will have a lot of help here, but AY is going to come in from the side. Burst damage with the chain stun is perfect. Had Sunder, no chance to use it. They'll stomp up Rax in the back end with the familiars, and also wander into Fluff. That is not where Fluff wants to be. Run, Lina, run. Looks like he will still be fast enough to outrun this kind of slow Rubik, so he's pretty happy about that. But NP setting up a kill on the Terrorblade, and as you said, they do have to rely more and more on this TB as this game progresses, but it's going to be so much more difficult as this game progresses because of the last pick Tinker from Fada. Like, Terrorblade up against Blind, bad times, man. You want to use every single second of Metamorph you can, and it's hard to sit in March, missile spam. Eventually, I would assume Fada might even pick up that bouncing laser with the Aghanim, so Terrorblade is not quite far enough ahead in order to solo carry this game just yet. It does seem like they need to make something big happen, but really lack the oomph in order to enable that. Like, if they had Laguna Blade, maybe they can get a support pick, but it's a level 4 Lina.
Just this combination of 2 supports, you can see the problem that's occurred now. It's just because they fell behind in the early game, they just have nothing to do basically for the remainder of the game, and then Clockwork just feeds off these supports that don't have Force Staff, and you're just not able to do anything. You don't feel safe anywhere. It's kind of like playing against a Spirit Breaker, if you want to think. MSS is just a big bully.
He will push 2 heroes away from their tier 2. AUI, the Visage, pretty much solo pushing the lane, and over in mid, Shackle will slow down the tanker. EE is pretty quick. He has Solar Crest as well, so he is damn near impossible to bring down if you're a Terrorblade. And well, EE now has some game up against the Terrorblade as well, some minus armor to deal with that huge armored hero. Pylai not fluffing stuff right now. There are just so many dangerous spots for the fire heroes to be in, and for right now they will avoid most of them. But still, in this downtime, it's AUI getting kind of a disgusting amount of farm.
And you see the Great kill.
Fluffing stuff down. In the meantime, they're also chasing after Brax. First familiar stomp misses. Second will land. One more hit is all they need. Soul Assumption? That will do enough. Barely. And they'll take down Brax as well. The fifth death of the Lina. Who cares? Also catching up to Whitebeard. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of miraculous how Fire have kept themselves safe for this long, for like the past 3 minutes, just not losing anyone substantial, but it all had to come crumbling down at some point. Losing 3 heroes, including that Abaddon, and TB farming the enemy jungle. It's something, but it's definitely not enough gold to recover.
Trying to figure out options for Fire right now to try and stem the bleeding, but nothing's really coming to mind. They got the Midas on OD, so they kind of have to build it up for him. They still don't have any way to really deal with Tinker. Supports aren't really close to a 4-staff. Whitebeard is building one, so that is nice. Also, Metamorphosis has... Oh, TC's gonna be hooked. No, not yet.
Blink over from Fada. It's a big nuke set onto TC. It'll all be sundered back, but I don't know that's going to do anything for him. Does have Jo coming in. Couple of seconds of safety. TPs from Fluff and Brax as well, and everyone from NP just going to get the hell out of there. So for Fire, they don't lose anyone, but they do lose a lot of map. Teleporting that many heroes up there just for a small defense. Let's EE keep pushing over in the mid lane. Another creep wave, a good about half damage up towards this tower, and LSA from Fluff not even gonna come back, diving straight in. Bottom lane in the meantime, they're also going for Whitebeard. AUI has been camping this lane. One more shot is all they need. Blink laser, blink missiles, something. There we go. Fada gets an unstoppable spree. Another 2 heads for the NP wall. And man, AUI just hasn't left this lane. Like, his familiars haven't left this lane either.
He's just like reminding me of TI5, AUI techies, staying in the bottom lane. Oh my god, he's got 5 TPs. He's ready.
Just in case he needs to leave.
The thing that AUI does better than almost any Dota player is calculating his reliable gold. So he'll spend money where he knows he's not going to get it back, to the point where he makes sure that he always comes out a net profit. Like, he'll buy 3 teleports because he knows he's going to lose that gold.
And that's something that lots of players never even consider. Like, unreliable gold, reliable gold, just an afterthought. Jo gonna get caught by MSS. He will imprison himself, but still not in the best spot. Back up from Whitebeard, and Fluff is gonna end up stunning MSS, but it will not save the OD. They will chain stun the Terrorblade. Double stomp from the familiars, and a Soul Assumption, not quite enough. They get the Sunder out, but TC still dying to the March of the Machines. MSS will finally go down. Here comes Eternal Envy. He's gonna catch up to Brax. Straight TP out. Is there anything else here to disrupt it? No. So they will get 2 for 1. For Fire, that it seemed like that was the best they could hope for, and it's not even good for them. It's far from that. It's actually terrible for them. But like, what more can they do in that situation? They were all there, and NP weren't.
Yeah, and they even fought under Shrine, and it was still ineffective. OD just can't do anything in the team fights. They have 2 Solar Crests too to kind of deal with the OD. This is the reason why I said OD is a great counter to Bristleback if you can hit him. But you can just see that the strategy is just to make sure that you have a lot of armor, a lot of mischance, and then you also have these Solar Crests to deal with Roche. They really want to get Roche done, but at the same time, they're waiting for Envy. There you go. So if Fire don't contest this Roche, they're just basically giving up the game. So this is kind of like the last hoorah for Fire. They have to get something done here.
They are kind of damned if they do, damned if they don't. They don't have TC here, which would mean they have a very, very large deficit in damage. EE is taking quite a beating himself. Despite his tankiness, he is really the only one dealing with Roche at this stage. Power shots, Dragon Slaves being spammed in. There should be a Shrine activation. It looks like they already used it. They're going to smoke up behind EE. Look to wrap around whoever's shooting from the south. And this, for right now, would be Whitebeard. I and MSS. Familiars from the north. They will see Jo hookshot in onto the Wind Ranger. She is completely screwed. Can they also get Jo though? Familiars with the missiles coming in with the laser zap. That's an either lens Tinker right there. Double kill. And Brax on the run. He may not die here, but this tower, well, they can just go back to Roche. Going pretty deep for a potential kill on an Abaddon. But yeah, now with those 2 kills, Roche is just locked up for NP.
So with Roche, they were going to look to take out all these tier 2 towers and then potentially go high ground if they really want to. They might wait until they have the Ags on Tinker. Once there's an Ags on Tinker, that's going to start getting disgusting now. It's going to be pumped out.
Hook shot on Clockwork, fortunately for Whitebeard. MSS, despite his impact on this game kill-wise, 319. Still not quite yet at that level 2 hookshot, but you don't need a hookshot to kill Alina with literally no mana. Let's see some sick jukes fluff and stuff. No, he's dead. Well, I mean, there's not much you can do in that situation. Jo going to arrive, not sure about that one. Double familiar stun will slow him down with the hookshot and the laser blast. Jo should not have been in that neighborhood. Not a good place to be. Crime rate is soaring. 3-20 and NP. Still just constantly getting these, I guess you could say, cheesy pickoffs, but it does seem like Fire are just not playing carefully enough.
If Fire had a Clockwork themselves, or even a Spirit Breaker, they could actually set up kills around the map, but they're just not able to do anything. It's just kind of sad to watch. Like, they have a tower pusher, but at the same time, they don't really have an initiator. Fire right now, they suffer greatly from having a core initiator in their lineup. And you can see the problems that can occur. Mojo's basically set up almost every single kill, I want to say, in this game.
Feels like it.
Just because, yeah, he gets the vision from the familiars. They also have Tinker that can be anywhere on the map with boots of travel, so it's kind of a win-win situation all around for NP. And they're just not looking back. They're playing pretty crisp Dota. And then another death. Fire dying, or Fluff dying in the base, getting sniped. That's a rocket flare. Vision.
Yeah, that was missile from Tinker, rearm missile from Tinker, flare from MSS from I don't even know where, and then another missile from the Tinker. Like, who's just hiding in the trees the entire time?
That's what we call bad-mannered, get out of my game. That's like styled on to the next level. You're getting killed in your base.
She even had an Abaddon healing her and shielding her. So, I mean, what else could you do about that? Just hope that there's no vision for the enemies, but the player is pretty good at doing that, as you said. 3-21. The dream be achieved in this game. NP slowly closing out the map right now to top lane. EY's got that on lock. EE take down mid. Somehow this bottom tower still. Oh no, Fluff, not again. Well, we did it, guys.
Down by Pilot die, and then now it's high ground time.
Brax lost half his HP to that Tinker combo. Jo gonna get hit with the Grave Chill, takes so much damage. Pilot Eye stole a Dragon Slave. Luckily for him, there was no follow-up to that, but EE, the only one presenting himself right now, has that double life, has a freaking Assault Cuirass. She doesn't care. And what damage? This Bristleback doesn't give a damn. Okay, maybe he should start giving a damn. But, I mean, again, double life. So, Fluff and stuff, oh no. Got blasted to half. Still alive. Laser bouncing through now, and yeah, this is looking pretty dirty. Oh, the laser bounce through will kill off Fluff and stuff. And drive TC and Whitebeard away. They're not even, like, fighting. They're just shooting at them from a range. It's like Fire don't have enough technology to fight back. They have swords, and NP have guns. They're just not there.
Playing Age of Empires.
Yeah.
Level